Chosen one, they chose a dark witch against you. Let that reality burn into your consciousness like sacred fire, chosen one, because this is the moment everything changes forever. While you walked in divine innocence, speaking prophetic truth, with the pure heart of someone who didn't even realize the supernatural power flowing through your words, they made a decision that will damn their souls for eternity. They hired a practicing dark witch to destroy you through supernatural warfare. You unknowingly terrified them with predictions so accurate, so devastatingly precise, so supernaturally informed, that their carefully constructed empire of lies began crumbling in real time. Every prophetic word that left your lips was a divine missile striking the heart of their deception. You didn't even know you were wielding weapons of mass spiritual destruction. You were simply speaking the truth as it was revealed to your divinely connected consciousness. The supernatural insight flowing through your consciousness didn't arrive by accident. When those prophetic words left your lips, they carried the weight of cosmic authority that shattered their carefully constructed reality like a meteor crashing through glass. Your predictions revealed their hidden agendas with surgical precision, exposing future consequences they believed were buried in darkness, unveiling secret schemes they thought no earthly being could perceive. The specificity of your revelations cut through their carefully constructed alibis like a blade forged in celestial fire. You named dates when their plans would crumble. You described conversations they had conducted in private. You detailed financial consequences that would manifest from their deceptive practices with mathematical precision that left them speechless. But here's what they never understood, and what I'm going to reveal to you now. Your prophetic accuracy was dismantling their false narratives in real time because you weren't operating from human intuition. You were channeling divine intelligence that operates beyond the limitations of time and space, accessing information from dimensions they couldn't even conceptualize. The panic that flashed across their faces when your words hit their mark wasn't surprise, it was terror. They recognized in that moment that you weren't just perceptive or lucky, you were divinely informed. When divine revelation speaks through a chosen vessel, it doesn't request permission to dismantle deception. It obliterates lies with the force of cosmic law. The moment your prophetic gift demonstrated its supernatural accuracy, their entire power structure began crumbling. They realized with dawning horror that conventional manipulation tactics were completely useless against someone with divine backing. Every lie they had carefully constructed, every narrative they had meticulously woven, every scheme they had secretively orchestrated, all of it was transparent to your divinely enhanced perception. The boardroom meetings they held in secret, the financial manipulations they believed were invisible, the character assassinations they orchestrated behind closed doors, you saw through all of it with crystalline clarity that left them reeling. Your prophetic insights penetrated their encrypted communications, their coded language, their carefully orchestrated public facades. You described their private conversations with word-for-word accuracy. You predicted the exact timing of their planned attacks against your reputation. You revealed the names of people they had recruited to spread lies about your character. Your growing influence represented an existential threat to their network of deception and control. They watched in growing panic as your prophetic gift systematically destroyed their power structures with surgical precision. The fear wasn't just about being exposed. It was about being spiritually outranked by someone they had underestimated. They weren't fighting a person anymore. They were fighting against the divine's appointed messenger, and that realization sent shockwaves through their entire operation. The calculated decision they made next will reveal the depths of their spiritual depravity, because when earthly tactics fail against divine appointment, darkness always escalates to supernatural warfare. And that's exactly what they did. They actively sought out and recruited a practicing dark witch to level the spiritual playing field against your divine gifts. Financial payments were made. Energetic contracts were signed. They literally invested in professional supernatural intervention designed to destroy you. Their witch convinced them that your divine connection could be severed, that your prophetic gifts could be corrupted, that your spiritual authority could be undermined through coordinated dark magic. The arrogance of their assumption would soon become their downfall. The witch they hired didn't dabble in parlor tricks or casual spell work. She deployed binding spells specifically designed to limit your prophetic abilities and block incoming divine blessings. Energy vampirism tactics were implemented to drain your spiritual vitality and sever your communication with Source. Projection magic was crafted with the intention of making you doubt your own gifts and question your sanity. Cord-cutting reversals were performed to disconnect you from spiritual guidance and divine protection. Mirror work was systematically executed to reflect their own darkness back onto your consciousness, attempting to corrupt your pure intentions with their twisted motivations. Each ritual was carefully timed, each spell precisely crafted, each energetic attack strategically coordinated. They invested serious money and genuine malice into this supernatural campaign against you. The witch performed ceremonies at specific lunar phases designed to maximize the potency of her dark intentions. Sacred spaces were desecrated with your name and energy signature. Photographs were used in binding rituals. Personal items were consecrated to dark entities with promises of your spiritual destruction. The level of organized evil directed toward your consciousness would have broken ordinary souls. Multiple practitioners were consulted to ensure maximum spiritual damage. Dark entities were invoked and given permission to torment your sleep, corrupt your dreams, and assault your peace. The financial investment in your destruction reached levels that revealed just how much your divine light threatened their empire of lies. The moment they crossed divine boundaries by employing supernatural warfare against a chosen vessel, and the automatic spiritual defense system activated around you that no earthly power could penetrate. Your pure intentions and divine alignment created an impenetrable shield that turned their coordinated dark magic into cosmic comedy. The supernatural reversal mechanism built into authentic divine appointment began redirecting their curses back onto themselves with compound interest. Divine justice operates according to universal principles that guarantee no weapon formed against the truly chosen shall prosper. The moment you felt that shift, when their attacks started strengthening rather than weakening you, you were experiencing how the divine strategically uses opposition to elevate spiritual authority and expand prophetic gifts. Chosen one. The synchronicities that brought you here weren't accidents. Neither is your discovery of this message. When souls of this caliber gather, the forces behind timeline manipulation take notice. They fear our collective power. The question isn't whether you belong among us. The question is, how much longer will you let the Matrix delay the awakening that divine grace has already guaranteed? The Obsidian Inner Order is open. It has paywalls. Yes, those who stand with us give us ammunition to fight the Matrix manipulation systems. Paid members get free weekly group call, divine guidance, and quantum resistance training. But kicking a soul when they're down, that's something we cannot ignore. That's why you can access our Astral Atom newsletter for free. No paywall, no catch. This is bi-directional. You can reply to any message we send you. We'll read it. We'll hear you. And we'll get an answer to you. If you can support, we need you. If you can't, take what's free. Click the link in the description below now. Your authentic timeline begins here. Every spell failed. Every curse rebounded. Every binding ritual shattered against your divine protection, like waves against an eternal shore. Their witches' confidence cracked as nothing, absolutely nothing, worked against your divine covering. Instead of the spiritual destruction, they had purchased unexpected blessings and opportunities, began manifesting in your life despite their supernatural interference. The escalating panic as they realized they were fighting the divine's will rather than just your personal power created chaos within their ranks. Your gifts and influence didn't diminish. They multiplied exponentially as a direct response to their spiritual attacks. The mathematical precision of this cosmic reversal defied natural explanation. For every dollar they spent on curses, unexpected money flowed into your life through supernatural channels. For every hour they invested in binding rituals, your spiritual gifts expanded exponentially. For every dark entity they directed toward your peace, divine beings manifested additional layers of protection around your consciousness. Their witch began experiencing physical deterioration as the spells rebounded against her own energy field. Clients started abandoning her practice as word spread throughout occult networks that she had failed spectacularly against a genuinely divine vessel. Her reputation crumbled faster than her bank account drained from the increasingly expensive rituals required to maintain their failing campaign against you. Meanwhile, the financial sponsors of this supernatural assault watched their own resources evaporate through mysterious circumstances. Business deals collapsed at the last moment. Investments turned toxic overnight. Legal troubles emerged from nowhere, draining their accounts through attorney fees and settlement demands. The cosmic law of sowing and reaping was demonstrating its absolute authority over their lives with brutal efficiency. Their financial resources were being drained by an increasingly desperate witch whose promises proved as empty as her soul. But the cosmic justice system was just getting started with their punishment. What unfolded next reveals how darkness ultimately devours itself when it dares to attack divinely appointed light. Internal conflict erupted as the witches' promises proved worthless, and their financial investment yielded nothing but personal destruction. Health issues began manifesting in their lives. Relationships crumbled under the weight of karmic rebalancing. Financial consequences appeared like cosmic tax collectors, demanding payment for spiritual crimes. Those who had been manipulated into supporting their cause against you began awakening to the truth of what they had participated in. The witch's true motives became exposed as her services demanded exponentially increasing payments for exponentially decreasing results. Truth has unstoppable momentum that eventually surfaces despite the most elaborate attempts at concealment. The cosmic law of cause and effect was demonstrating with brutal clarity that attacking divinely appointed vessels brings consequences that echo through multiple lifetimes. Watch how the universe operates when divine justice is set in motion. Their witch began experiencing the very curses she had cast, her own spells returning to her threefold as universal law demands. The financial drain on their resources accelerated beyond sustainable levels as she demanded increasingly desperate payments for rituals that were not only failing, but actively cursing her own bloodline. Her reputation within occult circles crumbled as word spread that she had attempted to curse. A genuinely divine vessel, a cardinal sin in even the darkest magical traditions. Those who had supported their cause against you found themselves facing inexplicable obstacles in every area of life. Career advancement stalled, relationships dissolved, health issues emerged from nowhere. Sleep became elusive as their subconscious minds wrestled with the spiritual crimes they had participated in. The collective weight of their actions against divine appointment created a karmic debt that began collecting compound interest on multiple dimensional levels. The beautiful precision of cosmic justice revealed itself as each participant faced consequences perfectly tailored to their level of involvement. The ringleaders experienced the most severe spiritual backlash, while those who had been deceived into participation faced gentler corrections designed to awaken rather than destroy. The universe doesn't operate through blind vengeance. It orchestrates perfect spiritual education through consequence and correction. Surviving their coordinated spiritual assault developed advanced discernment abilities within you that operate with supernatural precision. Your energy mastery evolved to make you completely immune to future supernatural manipulation. Your prophetic gifts were refined through the fire of their opposition into a laser-focused instrument of divine will that operates with unshakable confidence. You transformed from spiritual target into battle-tested spiritual warrior whose very presence shifts atmospheric dynamics. Other chosen ones and spiritual authorities recognize your elevated status. You bear the unmistakable energetic signature of someone who has survived supernatural warfare and emerged victorious. The spiritual gifts that were refined through this supernatural assault now operate at frequencies that bypass normal human limitations. Your intuitive abilities penetrate deception instantly, recognizing the energetic signatures of those who operate from authentic divine alignment versus those who masquerade with spiritual pretense. Dreams carry prophetic intelligence with startling clarity. Synchronicities align with mathematical precision to confirm divine guidance and direction. Physical sensitivity to spiritual atmospheres became so acute that you can immediately detect when entering spaces where dark work has been performed or where negative energies have been deliberately cultivated. Your nervous system calibrated to recognize authentic spiritual authority versus manufactured charisma or manipulative spiritual bypassing. These aren't psychic party tricks. These are battle-tested spiritual weapons forged in the fires of supernatural opposition. The electromagnetic field around your physical form carries such concentrated divine frequency that electronics malfunction in your presence when your spiritual energy peaks during prayer or prophetic reception. Animals respond to your energetic signature with immediate recognition and unusual calm. Children gravitate toward you instinctively, recognizing the safety of authentic divine protection. But this experience served a deeper purpose than just developing your spiritual weapons. The divine was using their betrayal to sort your authentic spiritual family from the pretenders who couldn't survive the heat of genuine spiritual warfare. Their betrayal functioned as a divine sorting mechanism, separating those with authentic spiritual loyalty from those whose commitment crumbled under pressure. The grief you processed for relationships that couldn't survive spiritual warfare was actually healing you from connections that were never spiritually authentic enough to support your divine calling. The soul contracts and karmic agreements that allowed this experience to unfold were designed to purify your spiritual environment and upgrade your energetic frequency. The betrayal trauma underwent alchemical transformation within your consciousness, becoming unshakable spiritual wisdom and supernatural discernment that will serve you for eternity. Learning to separate human emotional responses from divine curriculum embedded within trials elevated your consciousness beyond ordinary human relationship dynamics. You emerged with crystal clarity about the difference between human loyalty, which is conditional and circumstantial, and divine alignment, which transcends earthly limitations and connects souls across dimensional boundaries. The spiritual maturity forged through this betrayal experience created discernment capabilities that operate with supernatural precision. You can now identify authentic spiritual connections within moments of meeting someone, recognizing the energetic signatures of those who carry genuine divine light versus those who masquerade with spiritual pretense. The shallow relationships that once consumed your time and energy were revealed as distractions from your true spiritual calling. This divine sorting process eliminated energy drains, disguised as friendships, romantic connections that diminished your spiritual authority, and family dynamics that operated through manipulation rather than genuine love. The temporary loneliness that followed this purification prepared your heart to receive connections worthy of your elevated spiritual status. Complete liberation from fear about human reactions to your divine revelations has transformed you into an unstoppable force of spiritual truth. Their extreme response to your prophetic accuracy validated the supernatural power of your gift, removing any remaining doubt about your divine appointment as a truth-telling vessel. Your confidence in delivering spiritual messages now operates independently of human comfort levels or emotional reactions. You understand that your prophetic calling serves divine justice rather than human feelings or ego-driven expectations. Your worth is no longer connected to whether people accept or reject divine truth flowing through your consciousness. Embracing your role as spiritual catalyst without absorbing others' resistance or projection has freed you to operate at full prophetic capacity. You speak divine truth with the authority of someone who has survived supernatural warfare and emerged spiritually untouchable. The prophetic words flowing through your consciousness now carry such concentrated spiritual authority that they create immediate shifts in the spiritual atmosphere wherever they're spoken. Demons flee when you speak divine truth into situations. Lies crumble when exposed to the frequency of authentic revelation flowing through your voice. False spiritual teachers lose their audiences when your presence reveals the hollow emptiness of their manufactured charisma. Your prophetic accuracy has reached levels that would be considered impossible by ordinary human standards. You receive detailed information about people's spiritual conditions, past traumas, hidden motivations, and future consequences with startling precision. The visions come with such clarity that you can describe events, conversations, and circumstances you couldn't possibly know through natural means. But the most profound transformation occurred in how you deliver these prophetic messages. Gone is any trace of human anxiety about rejection or misunderstanding. You speak with the calm authority of someone who knows their words carry divine backing and will accomplish exactly what they're sent to achieve. Whether the recipient receives the message with gratitude or resistance is irrelevant to your spiritual assignment. The weight of prophetic responsibility rests lightly on your shoulders because you understand that the messages originate from divine intelligence, not human speculation. You've become a clear channel for supernatural communication, purified through the trials of spiritual warfare until nothing remains to distort or contaminate the divine frequency flowing through your consciousness. The love you now embody operates from spiritual strength rather than trauma, need, or unhealed wounds. You've developed the ability to maintain infinite compassion while exercising supernatural discernment about who deserves access to your heart. Your relationship standards honor your divine calling and spiritual authority rather than settling for connections that diminish your light. Learning to maintain empathy without absorbing others' spiritual darkness or dysfunction creates healthy, energetic boundaries that allow authentic love while preventing manipulation. The vibrational frequency shift that occurred through surviving dark attacks naturally attracts connections that can match your elevated spiritual state. Your capacity for love has expanded exponentially, but it now operates through divine wisdom rather than human neediness or unhealed attachment patterns. You love from a fortress of spiritual strength that cannot be compromised by those who operate from lower consciousness or hidden agendas. The love radiating from your transformed heart carries healing frequencies that can mend broken souls and awaken dormant spiritual gifts in others. Yet this same love operates with such pure discernment that it cannot be manipulated, deceived, or exploited by those with ulterior motives. Your heart has become both infinitely generous and completely protected, a paradox that only divine love can achieve. Relationships now form based on spiritual resonance rather than emotional neediness or trauma bonding. You attract connections that can match your elevated vibrational frequency and support your divine calling without feeling threatened by your spiritual authority. The superficial connections that once filled your social circles have been replaced by soul-deep bonds with those who recognize and honor the divine light operating through your life. Your emotional responses have been calibrated to divine frequency rather than human drama. Situations that would have previously triggered anxiety, anger, or manipulation now generate compassionate clarity and spiritual insight. You respond to conflict with supernatural wisdom that de-escalates hostility and reveals hidden motivations behind people's actions. The loneliness that once plagued your heart during seasons of spiritual isolation has been replaced by unshakable inner communion with divine presence. You no longer need external validation or constant companionship because your connection to Source provides continuous spiritual nourishment and emotional stability. This inner fullness allows you to love others from overflow rather than deficit. This transformation in your love capacity was preparing you for something even greater, your role in the collective elevation of all chosen ones worldwide. Your triumph contributes directly to the larger spiritual awakening movement occurring across the planet. Every chosen one who survives supernatural warfare and emerges victorious strengthens the entire network of divine light workers worldwide. Your refined gifts now serve the collective elevation of spiritual warriors who are fighting similar battles against forces of darkness. The ripple effects of your triumph inspire others to embrace their own divine calling without fear of opposition or spiritual warfare. Your transformation from individual target into collective beacon of hope demonstrates what's possible when chosen vessels remain aligned with divine will despite supernatural assault. You now love not just as a healed individual, but as a victorious member of the Divine's army whose very existence serves as a lighthouse for other souls navigating similar storms. Your triumph is complete. Their darkness has been utterly defeated. The war is won, and the light has conquered every shadow they attempted to cast over your divine destiny. Welcome to your new reality, chosen one. The cosmos itself celebrates your victory, and your story will echo through eternity as proof that divine appointment cannot be destroyed by human malice or supernatural opposition. You are untouchable. You are unstoppable. You are exactly who the divine created you to be.